If you guys like the content, just make sure you subscribe and turn your notifications on. It helps out a lot and it gets my channel out there a little bit more. Thanks for watching, guys. What's up, guys? Welcome to the video. Today I'm just going to be going over a couple techniques that I use to model architectural assets. So the primary technique I'm going to be using is photo modeling, but instead of doing generic textures.com textures, I had generated some texture sheets like this on Midjourney just to give me like some window facades. And so I'm going to just be showing you guys how I'll take this and turn it into 3D geometry. So we will add a material, duplicate it. Basically all I did to set this material up is add an image texture, plug it into RGB curves so I can brighten it or darken it, whatever I need to, and then plug that color ramp, plug that same photo into a color ramp, and then that into height so that I can give it some bump. But let's get in here and add our other texture sheet. So I'm gonna be working with this one. We'll switch it over to here so you guys can see it. And yeah, let's get started. So first thing I'm gonna do is tab into edit mode, project from view, make sure my transforms are applied. And then we'll come in here and grab it and scale it accordingly. Make sure when you're adjusting these, because you can adjust them like this, make sure to move across the texture sheet as to avoid stretching. Come in here and select correct face attributes. So now we can come in here and make sure that it's moving across the texture like that. So first things first, we will add a loop cut. Just to put it on that edge right there. And then we can grab this whole face and move it forward to give it some depth. To better line this up, come in here and grab these vertices. We'll grab this vertice at first and just move it down like so. It'll look better once we add some more geometry. So let's just do that right quick. Hit Control R to add an edge. And we'll add our first one right here at the bottom. And maybe we'll just move this about right there. And we're going to add another one and put it right there. And then we can just grab this, project from view. And we'll just move it over here somewhere. We'll scale this down so that it's not stretching over at all. Same thing right there. That looks better. And then we'll project that one from view as well. Move it up. And we'll put it somewhere. About like there should be good. And we'll do the same thing over here on this side. So we'll just grab these two, project them from view, and we'll move them up here. And just try to get it in somewhere that looks natural. Uh-oh. We can flip it. So now we're going to grab our edges right here and we'll do the same thing. We'll just move this down. Now what we can come in and do is grab these and we're going to hit Alt E and extrude along normals. Now we got some 3D depth there. And we can come in here and grab these two edge loops and we will give them a bevel. That'll smooth out that edge. And now we're going to repeat the same process down here. So we'll just grab these. And we'll just move them somewhere into a good place that looks good. That one looks good right there. Can scale this one down. Just try to line it up. Come over here to the other side. And we're going to just do the same thing. Maybe we could just move them over like that. Okay, so now we're going to grab these edges, Alt T, extrude along normals. This looks about even. Okay, so next step, we're going to start cutting out some of these shapes. So I'm going to hit Alt W to activate our box cutter. And we're just going to come in here. Add some bevel to it and knife that out. Same thing right here. Come in there. Just grab that shape. Then knife that. We'll come and dissolve that edge and hit Control X. For this shape, we'll add a knife cut. Maybe we'll use an end gone. Yeah, we'll use the end gone, or yeah, end gone will probably be the best thing to do. So we'll just start from there. Move right there. Move right there. Now we got that going on. And we can grab that and we'll extrude it out. We'll grab this one and extrude that one out. Make sure we grab that little sliver while we're doing the extrusion, and we'll just come in here and we'll just dissolve that because we don't need it. We'll just add a little bevel to that. Maybe we can add a we'll just knife it across. And then we can add a bevel to it. And then hit Alt E, extrude along normals, and we'll bring that deselect that. Got something weird going on here. Okay, so for some reason those edges are not connected, but I don't really care about that. As long as it gives me the desired effect. There we go. We'll give that a chamfer. Cool. Now we can we'll grab this, turn our X-ray mode off. We'll inset, inset, inset. And then we can grab this edge. If you want to grab like an entire loop, just hold Alt and then click on one of the edges. And I'll select the whole loop if it has the proper topology for it. And we're going to just bring that outwards like that and give it like a little bit of a lip. And then we can We cannot. Trying to add loops across this entire thing, but it's not working. So maybe we'll just connect those with knife cut, and then we can grab that whole edge, give it a bevel. And we'll just extrude it, and then we can round it out like that. And then for these, let's see. We're going to have to adjust this quite a bit because it's not lined up. So maybe we can do something like that. And grab those and maybe scale it in on the X. Grab those, scale it down on the Y. Just to try to get the UVs a little better. We'll move that in. It's not perfect, but should be okay for now. Then we're gonna grab this and this. Well, before that we do that, actually, we'll come in here and run a knife cut. And bevel it. Extrude. Grab these two edges and then do the same thing. Now we'll come in here and we'll add a new material, and we have like a glass material, and we'll assign that right there. So these are not like for close-ups at all. Just keep that in mind. These are for really large scale scenes, and we're just going to be like pasting them onto buildings. So just remember that when you're making these, they're not going to be like close-up shots, and if they are, you're going to be doing a lot more paint over in the compositing phase. Just keep that kind of stuff in mind. So right here we can go back to our box cutter, and we'll add a slice right there. Make sure the knife tool is active. We can dissolve this edge so it doesn't give us problems. We'll inset that, and then I'm gonna run a knife cut. We can just slide that edge right here. Try to line it up in the middle roughly, and then we'll just run a knife cut through this. And then we will I think what we're going to end up doing is splitting this off. So we'll Shift D to duplicate it. We'll move it out. P, separate by selection. And now we'll come in here and we'll be able to come in here and edit it a little bit better. Maybe we'll just move it somewhere right there. Same thing with this. And same thing with this. And for this, we will add two loop cuts. That direction and 1, 2, 3, 4 loop cuts this direction. And we'll just grab all of these faces, hit double I to inset them, and then we'll extrude them and the X. And now we will Alt X and mirror that. Okay. And now what we can do, first we'll apply that modifier. We're going to select these, accept the corners, and dissolve them. Project from view. Scale these way down. Move them over here. And then we're just going to grab these edges and we'll just move it backwards. Now we have a little asset that we can reuse. Looks pretty good too. Let's check it out in cycles. So yeah, we're getting somewhere with this. Maybe for, oops, maybe for this. We'll come in here and go to edit mode. And we can just select these and we'll just come up to the top, or we can, yeah, we'll come up to the top and hit U, project from view. And then we'll just grab this and put it in here somewhere. Doesn't have to be perfect. Cool, cool. Now I'm going to put a cut line right here. A cut line right here. That way we can come in here and we'll just scale Y 0, scale Y 0. Maybe if we move this down, there we go. We can straighten those out. GY, oh, GY over here. So that looks better. Now we're gonna have to do the same thing to the other side. This is probably a little bit overkill, like but it just makes it look a little bit better, so we're gonna do it. Doesn't have to be perfect. There, that's good enough for me. For this, we will we could just model this out of a cylinder. So we'll add a cylinder, rotate X 90 degrees, rotate Z 90. We'll scale it to about the same size that we want it. Right there looks better. Tab, X-ray mode. We'll grab our vertices. We'll move it into place. And then we can assign the same material to it. Project from view. We'll grab it. Scale it down. Okay. We can inset that face. We can move it up Maybe we'll scale it like that. And we can inset it slightly. Then we'll extrude. We'll scale it in. We'll grab that edge, scale it up, grab that edge, scale it up. That way it just looks better. Now we can insert, maybe not, we'll just add a knife cut right here. Make sure it's flat on the y-axis, and then yeah, we're gonna duplicate this. Or maybe we'll bevel it first. Now we'll duplicate it, move it forward. We'll grab all these faces and extrude them back like so. We'll just find a dark spot for that. Scale that. Maybe move this back a little. Extrude on the X. We can grab that. Maybe we'll put that right there somewhere. And we'll just turn off our correct face attributes. And we'll just duplicate those. We'll scale this one down. Then we'll grab the same one. Shift D, rotate, X 90, scale it. Make sure we're scaling these in. Control L, scale them in. That way they're just not poking through. Now we got this little detail going on. I think we want to bring these in. That way that black is coming through better. Yep. Let's check these out in Eevee or in cycles. Oh, that's kind of cool. This is from another texture that I was working on. Okay, now we could add this one, or we could just use our props. Okay, it's not those. There we go. So maybe we'll just grab some of our props and paste them in here. We got going on here. Maybe we'll add a knife cut right here. Fix that topology, and then we can dissolve that. Maybe we can get a good bevel going on this. Yeah, that's better. Cool. Maybe something like that. Then last thing that we can do for this is start adding some piping systems. Like you see these going on here. We'll just add those with quick tools using the quick curve tool. Come over to the quick tools end tab, and then we'll turn our snapping mode on to 45, and we'll do like a smoothing about like that. Now when we come in here, we can add some pipes like that. So we'll come down from here. Add a pipe like that, pipe like that. And then maybe we'll add a pipe in there. Maybe not so long. Or we could move it closer, like so. And then if we want to, we could we'll add some loops. And then we could we'll grab these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe. Well, yeah, we'll grab those. Control Alt C. and we'll create mask of cables from selected faces. And then we'll bring in that tension, bring in the randomized tension, scale these cables in like that. So yeah, maybe we could add a little bit more tension or less. I think that looks good like that. For these, we'll come in and use our quick tools. Bring that in. Go to our box select and make sure to turn off our smoothing and snapping. Go back to Eevee mode. We're basically just trying to add some connecting points on these pipes. Um, Another thing we can do to these curves, because they're going to be pretty dense, we'll clean them up and decimate them. We don't need that many points. Like something like that's probably good. And now we can come in here and grab some of these and move them to our liking. Like these, we can move them up. We could scale them to get like sharper. Like that. Realistically, we only need one at each intersection or angle change. So that looks pretty cool. And yeah, we'll just keep on rinse and repeating. We can also like add some couplings. Like so. It's really nice to add these like connecting joints. Like how it looks pretty well. Make sure we join those before we work on it, because as soon as we affect it with the quick shape, it turns it into a mesh. So these are kind of just sticking out of nowhere, so we'll grab these and we'll extrude them in like that. This one, I kind of messed it up. So we'll just grab these. And maybe we can extrude it up. Extrude, rotate, extrude, rotate, extrude, rotate. These just get it out of sight so it's not sitting there. So yeah, now we'll grab all these pipes that we got. We can join them together. Looks like this one is still a curve object. So we'll take advantage of that. Okay. And we'll add our old steel material to it. These we can add a rubber material. And that looks pretty good. We'll sharpen this, fix the shading errors. Uh-oh. Okay. So now we'll just grab all this crap and we can join them together. Check it out and cycle, see how it looks. Looks pretty cool to me. We could extrude this out and scale it to 0 on the Y. And then just fill it. And now if we wanted to see what it looks like, could array it. Now we got like a nice little facade that we can slap on some larger like skyscraper high-rise buildings. But I'm not done yet. The next thing is really cool that I wanted to show you guys with this kind of stuff. So let's dupe it. And now we'll set origin to geometry. We'll come in here back to Eevee. There we go, that's better. Now we can start playing with our mirror modifiers and create completely new facades out of this. Now we could even, like this, create like pillars. Shift D. Do this again. We can do it on the other side now. So now we have all these different variations that we can play with. We could Shift D, we'll move that one down. Could apply that. We'll Alt X. We'll duplicate it that way. It's honestly, it's just it's unlimited. Like you can just keep going and going and going, create all kinds of new. Like I don't know what this could be used for, but it's just something new and it's completely unique. And like to come up with some stuff like this on your own is takes it just takes so much more time. Like using these photo sheets, you can just come up with all kinds of cool stuff. Like I said earlier, like you can even make like pillars, like you could grab this, move it in. Go to Alt X, duplicate it, move it right there. Now you could use this as something that would like, you know, separate these two assets. Or you could, you know, maybe put it right here and just add to the facade. But the amount of shapes that you can generate after, you know, creating stuff like this is really awesome. You can try new combinations of, you know, locations where you want to mirror from. And mirror from here. So yeah, that's kind of it. I'm gonna wrap it up because I could just keep going and going, but you guys get the picture. Um, just wanted to show you guys kind of like the technique, and this is just like a snippet of the full process. My goal is to start releasing like full process tutorials, like documenting like an entire process from beginning to end on how I create like assets and then use those assets to build up scenes for finished environment concept pieces. But I'm gonna plan on releasing those on Patreon and just release like, you know, kind of like teasers, like sneak peeks on YouTube, just to keep like the YouTube up and going and content coming towards that platform. But I think I'm going to be more gauged towards doing Patreon content. Um, But yeah, I hope you guys can learn something. If you have any questions, just drop some comments and I'll try my best to get back to you guys. Thanks for watching.